Hi, we're going to do Lexia Lessons Biography number 2. You need to get a piece of paper and a pencil, and then you can write your answers on the paper. When you've written the answers on the paper, you're going to take a picture. Upload the picture to your Google Drive, then attach the picture from your Google Drive to your assignment. Then you can click Turn In. Thank you. Okay, we're going to make a timeline. So we're going to read the biography below, then use the terms in the box to fill in the blanks on the timeline. Paul Lawrence Dunbar was born on June 27, 1872, in Ohio. His parents were former slaves. His mother worked as a washerwoman. She taught her young son to read and urged him to do well in school. In 1878, at the young age of 6, Dunbar wrote his first poem. In 1891, Dunbar graduated high school with honors. Over time, Dunbar became a talented writer. He published 12 books of poetry. In 1896, he published his most popular book of poetry, Lyrics of a Lowly Life. He would have written more had he lived a fuller life. In 1906, when Dunbar was only 33, he died of an illness. Dunbar's life was short, but his influence was great. Dunbar's poetry inspired other African American writers of the 20th century. Okay, so let's find what is our first date. We can see that he was born in Ohio, right here. So when was he born? He was born in 1872. So we can put 1872. In 1878, he wrote, at the young age of 6, he wrote his first poem. So wrote his first poem. He graduated from high school in 1891. So we put 1891 there. In 1896, he published a book of poetry, Lyrics of a Lowly Life. And lastly, he passed away. He died at age 33 in 1906. Okay, so fill in your timeline. We read the biography above, then read each of the events listed in the elements of a biography, image below. Underline the word or words in each event that show why the event is an example of a person, life, or a legacy. Over time, Dunbar became a talented writer. His legacy, his poetry inspired other writers. And his life. He was born, underline born. Okay. Now, we're going to read the autobiography of Gabby Evans. Then we're going to Then we are going to complete the sentence starters below. I was born to use my voice, or so I'm told. On August 15, 2003, I arrived in a hospital in southeast London screaming, then hollering, then crying, then cooing. Fortunately, in the years to come, I learned to use my voice for other things than screaming and hollering, thanks in large part to my dad, who would read me a poem each night before bed. In 2011, I began writing my own short poems and reading them in front of my parents and brother. When I was 10, my Aunt Lou took me to the 2013 London Slam Poetry Competition. She explained that slam poetry is a type of performance poetry in which people stand on the stage in front of an audience and share a poem they wrote. Usually the poem is about something important to the person. Then the audience reacts to the poem. Over the next few years, I worked to write more poetry and practice performing it in front of friends and family. Then, in 2015, I entered a slam poetry competition in which I would compete against kids from other schools. When I got on stage and performed my poetry reading, I was amazed to receive a loud, booming response of praise from the audience. Not only did I win the grand prize, brand new instruments for our school band, but I also found a meaningful and poetic way to use my voice. That's pretty cool. Personal quality that describes Gabby Evans is, I found this evidence in section blah, a major event that happened in Gabby Evans' life is, I found this in section blank, and a lasting impact Gabby Evans has made is blank. Okay, so let's go back here to a personal quality, then a major life event, and a lasting impact. Well, I think the 2013 London Slam Poetry Competition is a major event that happened in Gabby Evans' life. So a major event that happened in Gabby Evans' life is the 2013 London Slam Poetry Competition, and that is in section 2. Lasting impact Gabby Evans has made is that she won the poetry contest, the slam poetry competition, and won brand new instruments for our school band. And that was in section 3. A personal quality that describes Gabby Evans is, I learned to use my voice for things other than screaming. And that's in section 1. That's pretty good. We did it. Now, fill in the blanks below to complete the statements about yourself. 2 words I would use to describe myself are blank and blank. Legacy. One positive way I hope to impact others is blank. And one important event in my life was when blank. So you're going to fill this in, write it down on your piece of paper, take a picture of it, attach it. First, add it to your Google Drive, then attach it to your assignment and turn it in for me. Thank you. Hope you have a great time.